Good morning. In this week's installment of The Professor Helps, I'm going to talk to you about one thing that you can do right now to make your life better. Are you ready to hear it? Right now, the best thing you could do is find the kind. What do I mean by that? Well, everybody is stressed, everybody is frustrated, everybody is aggravated. Unless, of course, this is the one moment in time where you don't find yourself aggravated and frustrated. So let me be the first to say, congratulations, you're not feeling frustrated, aggravated, and all of the emotions. I think that it's really easy to get bogged down in the difficulties that are going on right now, and really, in general, we don't need a pandemic to worry. I think that most people have a low level of worry that kind of lives right here, and then, things happen. Something goes wrong at work, or you miss a deadline, or something like that, and you just go, and it goes up here. And before it gets to the top of your head, I want to remind you that one of the things that has been studied over and over again in science is that there is oxytocin in doing nice things for other people. So oxytocin is a fantastic feeling about when you give to someone else, it comes back to you. And ultimately, it could be looked at as very, very selfish to do something nice for another person. But the truth is that to find the kind is something that only you can decide what works best for you. It could be getting a Starbucks drink virtually for your coworker. It could be asking them about that event that they mentioned, maybe an anniversary, or maybe their kid just had a milestone, or maybe they just got a pet. There's a lot of different things that we can do if we just open our eyes and open our ears and be better listeners. And I think that it's an opportunity every single time that we interact with another human being, whether it's over a screen or face to face, well, mask to mask. You can look at that other person and see where they're at. Or you can ask a question like, how are you doing? And really care about the answer. I think far too often we're way too busy and we're just running from thing to thing, and we're not taking that time to find the kind. So my message to you today is, if you're struggling, for having a difficult day, and this is not your day to be kind to other people, maybe today is your day to have other people be kind to you. The thing that I would remind you is that make sure that when it's your turn and you're feeling pretty good, you spread that kindness to someone else. You ask them how their day is. You bring them something, you socially distance with them. You can even send them a text message. There are so many text messages I've got that have really lifted my day. Or a phone call, or even a voice message. There's a lot of ways to leave messages now. Like if you don't want to call somebody, and I know that a lot of people don't want to do that, you can press a button on your phone and record a message and then just send it to them. That way they can read it or listen to it whenever they want. I think sometimes with text messages, they're great, except they have this instantaneous nature to them. It's like, oh, I have to respond to that right now. And it's like, not necessarily. Sometimes a text message is just, hey, I'm pulling for you. I'm in there with you. We're in this together. And sometimes it doesn't need a response. Sometimes it's just a thumbs up that you can put on that text message. And, I used to rail against text messages because I miss the phone-to-phone conversations. And certainly my preference is face-to-face conversations. Currently, we have to adjust. We have to pivot. And part of that, I think, is going to be finding the kind wherever you can lend yourself to being kinder, wherever you can help another person out, wherever you can go just a little bit extra. The extra mile is not very crowded because there's not a lot of people on that road. So I'm going to invite you to be on the extra mile, to go that extra mile, to be that person for someone else today. Because who knows, you could have such an immeasurable impact on the other person that you're interacting with. So today's message of The Professor Helps is to find the kind. And this is a weekly message. This is to inspire you, motivate you, and frustrate you. And I would appreciate it if you found this helpful to go ahead and subscribe, and of course share with other people. These are messages that come out every single Wednesday, and it's to get you motivated, get you inspired. And yes, sometimes it's going to be to frustrate you, because I think that it's too often that we're shiny happy and we don't really share the real stuff and how we're struggling and how it's difficult. And I think that the more we do of that, the more we find the kind. This is the professor signing off.